Hello everyone, welcome back to VLSI for All. I'm Neeraj Cheryala, back with yet another interesting session on VLSI industry and careers. And this time we have Ankesh Vasnik joining us. He's currently working as ASIC Design Verification Engineer at Micron. He has pursued his master's in microelectronics from IIT Delhi. And he is also founder and manager for Aplom PC for public speaking. And before this, he has also internship trainee at Maharashtra State Power Generation Limited. So he's got a lot of experience in placement cell as well at IIT Delhi. Thank you, Ankesh, for joining us today. We are very happy to have you with us today.
Hey Neeraj, it's my pleasure. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you so much to VLSI for all in specific for having me here on this platform. So before I do speak anything, I would like to congratulate all of you for taking such a wonderful initiative. This has always been my primary agenda to reach out to a group of people specifically
Yep.
inclined towards engineering community to discuss and give something in whatever we have and help the community to a larger extent. So congratulations and thank you for having me here.
And
So
in
we can
fact, we are very happy to have a young dynamic individual like you joining us today, and who
that's
is
my pleasure. Thank you.
especially gold medalist at IIT Delhi, Dr. Shankar Dayar Sharma gold medalist.
Hmm.
So
Yeah,
such a person speaking about in careers would be very helpful to students who are watching this session. Thank you
I
once
would give
again.
my best to. I would give my best to help, the people and community. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
welcome.
So coming to your current role at Micron as a DV engineer. So what is it exactly about?
Okay. So Neeraj, ASIC is basically a core VLSI area. Uh, DV stands for design verification. So, what do we do when you graduate as a VLSI engineer and you seek opportunities in VLSI industry? The forerunner, the foremost options that actually come in front of you stands like design verification, DFT, physical design, and so. So, what ASIC in particular we have to do is, let us say, you get an IP in which you integrate it on a system. Let us say there is a chip called, like we call it SOC, system on chip. So that system is full of different IPs which should be integrated upon it. Like it may be like some companies like maybe TI may be working on DSP, Intel may be working on processors, NVIDIA may be working on GPUs, and specifically Micron that works on memories. So you take this IPs, you take it on a chip and you integrate all these IPs and you make it a complete system. So what ASIC does is it performs verification of the IPs that come for integration. So when you work for, let us say, a UFS IP, or you work for a DDR IP or LPDDR IP that comes, you need to like verify it by using like maybe you have universal verification methodologies, or maybe system Verilog or Verilog concepts that you must have studied in your that people study in their masters. So that basically deals with the verification portion, the design verification portion of the IP. So my specifically work relates to IPDV, that is IP, intellectual property design verification.
Great, that was comprehensive. And you're talking about IPs related to memories like DDR, for example.
Mhm.
So does Micron, I mean, as an ASIC DV engineer at Micron, do you only deal with IPs such as memory controllers? Are you talking about memory
Mhm.
controllers in specific, or are there any other types of IPs?
So you rightly mentioned that we deal with memory controllers, we deal with UFS, we deal with memories in specific. We deal with a lot of IPs that come to be integrated on system that primarily relates in major portion to be dealt with memories in specific LP. Presently, like we are working on a technology DDR6 LPDDR. So my specifically work relates to the area in which we get memory and memory controller in specific, and we need to verify it. So yes, you were right that we had to deal it with memory in primary, because see, Micron, along two major semiconductor memory leaders in the world, they work in this area of memory and storage solutions. So 80 to 90% of work is concentrated upon, very in the ASIC IPDV team, relates to verification of memories and memory controllers.
Got it. That was a very clear answer that you have given for the audience, Ankesh. Thank you for that.
Okay,
Uh,
okay. Yeah, thank you.
Coming to your experience as overall coordinator at IIT Delhi. So, as an overall coordinator, what did you learn from that experience? And uh, I mean, what points can a student, if he or she takes that role at at any given college, what points they can learn from that experience? Because many of the students don't usually think of being as a
Yeah,
placement coordinator there. Only few of them
right, right, right.
get a
I know.
chance to do that.
Yeah, I know. So there's an illustrative, like there's a process through which you have to go through to be the part of placement team. And as a master student, I can understand the perspective of a lot of people that you go out to pursue your masters, your primary agenda is to get a job, and you only have 2 years to do that. So as a person, they may think that I haven't got much time, in my hand, and that I should put a lot of it into my preparation. And where does all these things come from? Will I even get a time to do something at placement cell or maybe at extracurricular activities? So I think that is the differentiating factor, as a student, where it actually comes. Speaking about master's perspective, I would tell that, at IIT Delhi or maybe at other institutes as well, because IIT Delhi is presently ranked 28th in the world when it comes to Times Higher Education Employability Index, and that is higher than any other institution in India. So the kind of exodus, the kind of rush of the companies which we get at IIT Delhi is huge, is very huge. And when we specifically comes to of people, when you talk about background from specifically electrical engineering in particular, you get a lot of companies, like you have Nvidia, Micron, Intel, Texas, MediaTek, Silicon Labs, Max Linear, AMD, a lot of companies are there. At the same time, managing all these companies that come to campus plays a very vital role. Neeraj, what happens is, if a company is coming to your campus and you don't cater it well in terms of all the conditions that should be met for a particular placement activities, those companies gonna bounce back. Like, maybe you wouldn't get that opportunity to what it had been in. Maybe it had been really good, but if it wasn't done that well, then maybe it may can backfire to you. So we kept all these things in mind. Even though we were getting a lot of opportunities, we don't want to miss out on a lot of it. So at IIT Delhi, the placement cell takes a lot of interviews, like maybe 3 rounds or 4 rounds of it. And when you clear all the 4 interviews, so you get to become an overall coordinator. So that overall coordinator is basically that leads the entire team of maybe 100, 200 people which are there. And then I not only did work of only masters, but I did only for BTechs as well, or maybe handling all the companies. So I was actually in contact with maybe all the representatives of company all around the world, like maybe everyone. Like even today, we get a discussion to have with like people from TSMC. We get to have discussion people from Intel and MediaTek. So that's really a great experience for me. Although it was a really hectic one, maybe 7 to 8 hours a day you will have to dedicate to your placement activities, and then whatever the time is left with you, you go out and you open your books and you start preparing to do something. Because at the end of the day, you have to think for yourself also. So that is a challenging role. But my experience has been really well. I learned a lot. I worked with a team. I worked with HOD, OCS. I worked with a lot of people, gained a lot of different perspective from them. I talked to a lot of people from HRs, their representatives, and got to know them as well. And I knew that what they demand to be, in good position. So it was a great learning experience, and a really great one, which I'll cherish for rest of my life, I guess. That's one of the best decisions I took.
Yeah, it's great actually. You managed both the placement activities and your academics, and you've been a gold medalist overall.
Okay.
So that should have taken a lot from you within these 2 years of M.Tech.
I was awarded Dr. Shankar Dayal Sharma Gold Medal recently at 53rd Convocation of IIT Delhi. That basically is an all-rounder medal which you get for performing good in academics and good in extracurricular activities as well. So in microelectronics group at RFDT, which I was first at the end of fourth semester. I did fairly well in my projects as well. So my supervisor did some recommendations during the application process, and at the same time, the placement cell also I had a really great track record there. So a lot of recommendations from them also I got. So overall, this my profile, was made to be a comprehensive one, complete comprehensive, to be very conducive and suitable for this award. So I'm fortunate enough that I've got this award from a very reputed institute of India, IIT Delhi, and that's really great for me. Yeah.
And you deserve it exactly for the all the works that you have done there at IIT
Thank you.
Delhi. Yeah.
Thank you.
So you're mentioning about RFDT there when you were talking about your M.Tech program. So what exactly is
Mhm.
RFDT, and how does a student
So,
choose M.Tech
radio
program from,
frequency, uh-huh.
yeah, how does a
From what?
student choose M.Tech program from IIT Delhi?
Okay. I think the journey starts exactly when you start applying for COPE, maybe after your GATE exam, and then you start your application process at different IITs. And I wouldn't be wrong. I would be wrong if I say that 95% or maybe more than that people have an idea in their mind that I need to keep companies and placement in my head, that whichever institute I go, I should be placed. The students will have just one perspective. ये कॉलेज चले जा, यहाँ पे प्लेसमेंट बहुत अच्छा है, या तो ये ब्रांच ले ले, यहाँ ये प्लेसमेंट बहुत अच्छा है. But I have seen during my application process as well that student lack idea, in terms of branch specifically to be choosing. They lack an idea. When I was like, like maybe I guess in round two I was offered. In round two I was like offered at RFDT. Along with that, I had offers from IIT Kharagpur and IIT Madras Control System as well. So I there was a big thing in my mind. As a student from electrical engineering background, how would I even manage to be something which is working in core areas of electronics? So I have a habit of taking a lot of testimonials. I have a habit of discussing a lot with my peers, with my seniors. So I got to know that this thing, like maybe the radio frequency design and technology, which comes under Department of Electronics at IIT Delhi, is primarily concerned in three areas. The first is microelectronics. The second is signal processing, and third is microwave. So admission to this three specialization depends upon two conditions. The first is your B.Tech specialization, your B.Tech degree. Uh, the second is how do you perform in interview. So if you want to get into microelectronics, maybe they'll start asking you questions on digital electronics, analog electronics, EDC, and then maybe communication DSPs. Getting into SP would relate to doing good in maybe DSP, EMT subjects like that, and microwave lots deals with EMT as well, and maybe a subject that relates to microwave side. So our admission was based upon this all this criteria, even though we took admission in COVID session at that time. So I went into microelectronics, even though a lot of people at Facebook groups of at admission, when we take the admission, we join a lot of groups on Facebook. They strictly warned me. They put a lot of disclaimers in front of me that it won't be manageable. It won't be manageable for you. You come from an electrical engineering background. How would you manage it? Just something like that. But I think, like, there's a time in your life when you have to take decision, when you have to think if either this, if it is this or that. And getting into IIT Delhi was IIT Delhi was always one of my top priority institutes always. So I made a decision that if I get into microelectronics or signal processing, maybe those would be my two choices, and I should choose getting into IIT Delhi. Even I had other options, and regarding placement also, I took a lot of Quora based approaches. I talked to, as I mentioned, a lot of my seniors and peer group. I got a positive response with terms of placement. And for my own preparation, I took a charge upon myself that I will have to, leave no stones unturned when I get in, when I get to enter into this department. I'll give my best. And I would also thank to a lot of my friends at RFDT. They helped me a lot during all the course of preparation. They always like when I had to deal with RF concepts, they would tell me that, you refer this book or you refer this material that would be really great for you. So a big chunk of thanks to them as well. Somehow I did, and I think I did well because at the end of fourth semester I had a really great CGPA, and I scored straight A's in my major project also, and that was a tough call. But during initial days it was a tough call. But later on I learned to manage it, like how to do it, and things went like that.
Yeah, it's quite an inspiring journey, especially for a student who is from an electrical engineering background in his B.Tech and going into IIT Delhi and studying microelectronics. So it would never be easy, at least in the initial stages, as you have mentioned. And you've also
Yeah, yeah,
proved
yeah.
this for those guys, for those students who are just studying their B.Tech and want to pursue masters in electronics related field. They can do it
Yeah.
and they can ace it as you have done.
Yeah, yeah, of course, of course, of course. So one point I would like to add on this over here, like Neeraj, that you can think of like maybe the course, the every IIT they provide a detailed core structure on their websites. I went to it and I got to know that there are some core subjects that relate to RF background. There are some core subjects that would relate to microelectronics background. So the microelectronics mostly would deal with areas of devices, a lot of like devices, semiconductor physics, and all those things. Whereas RF side would relate to a lot of portions, maybe on antennas, maybe amplifiers, mixers on that. But that is also helpful when it comes to analog electronics. So there is an area called as CMOS RFIC. So when you work in RF, that goes to RF. That the only difference is of that frequency ranges when you talk of RF and analog. So that actually helps in in that area. I've seen that because I took a subject of CMOS RFIC in my M.Tech, and I could relate that a lot of things are from that area as well.
And I've heard that IIT Delhi is, I mean, no, especially known for RF design. Is it true? I mean, as per I know, as per my knowledge, I've heard it from many guys.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, no, that you're absolutely right, because it is a very niche area, like Neeraj, it is a very niche area which is not present with much institutes across the country. IIT Delhi is doing really good when it comes to research in RF, when it comes to research in signal processing. They have a dedicated department, they have a dedicated research facility, and it's a very cutthroat technological tools which they are working on. They have a lot of patents and research paper filed in that area. Leading doctorates are going in this area. We have a lot of professors who are basically directors with different IITs, or working in who are working as a managing director and founder with different RF companies across the country and across the globe, to be precise. And such people from those particular area, they come and they give their lecture at RFDT. So like the one name which I can recall is Professor Call. Like he used to teach us CAD of RF and microwave circuits at the well at and in one semester he taught us active circuits, RF and microwave active circuits. So he was actually working with a lot of RF based companies. So we have really great people and really cutthroat technological tools available at this department. So yes, that wouldn't be an understatement to say that IIT Delhi is reading when it comes to RF and RF research. At the same time, they have different MOUs filed with different universities across the world, like maybe Taiwan or University of Queensland. So they make a student NYCU, and they make a student exchange program in these areas. So it's a really good choice. Good, like the cutoff is increasing, but that's a really great choice to have to be at Delhi. So from RFDT, from last 5 years, they have had a record of 100% placement. No guy is remaining. And now I think when I was an overall coordinator, and we did a guidance to our juniors as well during that time. So we started now maybe also internships at M.Tech. So you say that IITs don't allow internship, but when you get into placement cells, specifically when you lead placement cells, you get to know a lot of things you need to work upon. So that's what happened. And now they are doing phenomenal. It's very really phenomenal.
Yeah, so it means that IIT Delhi will be the go-to institute for any student if they want to pursue
Mm.
RF electronics as
Yeah,
their masters.
definitely, definitely,
Got it.
definitely.
And
Yeah.
in fact, all of maybe some of the students may also know about this NPTEL course that we have seen from Sauribrata Chatterjee sir. Is it
Ah,
still there?
yeah, yeah.
Is it, has he teached you anything?
Oh,
Has he taught you?
really? Like, huh? Of course. Like, I did that course, CMOS RFIC. Shauri sir used to teach us CMOS RFIC. He was the prof, and yeah, I think like I was one of the students, specifically from my batch, who was really a lot of had a lot of inclination to CMOS RFIC. We did projects of low noise amplifiers and power amplifiers during that time, and during my placement days when I put those projects into my CV, I took a lot of preparatory material from NPTEL of Shauri sir, as well as the material which he taught us during our course. Shauri sir is phenomenal. When he would come to teach you, at times he would teach even better than what he taught in those NPTEL videos. So you would love to rewatch those videos again and again. And I've had an opportunity to talk with him when I was having tea at Amul with my friends. He just came and we just went to him and we discussed a lot of things on. Even he is guide to some of my friends at IIT Delhi. So he is really, a great guy to talk with. He's like, he would like tell us during our discussion itself. He would, maybe if you gonna ask some problem that we are facing, sir, in this area, he would not, he will take out his time specifically to talk to you, and he would actually provide you some solution or a hint of solution at least to get to that. Really, one of the great professors of all the time I've seen.
Thank you for mentioning all those experience that you had at IIT Delhi, Mukesh.
Okay.
So, but I still have this question in my mind about your choice. I mean, you have done a BTech from electrical engineering, and why did you choose to enter electronics, core electronics, and why didn't you choose subjects related to electrical itself?
Okay, Neeraj, so that's a good question. Answer to this question would relate to maybe two or three dimensions. The first thing, as an electrical graduate, as I mentioned that when you go for masters, you have placement as a really big question in your mind. At that times, as I mentioned, that I took a lot of discussion with my peer groups and seniors as well. I got to know that, VLSI is an area which has a lot of employability index to be present as well as rising in future. So the second thing is getting into VLSI from an electrical engineering point of view might not be so easy as as it goes for electronics engineer or maybe electronics and communication engineer when it comes. So I kept all those things in mind. I started application in different IITs. So but the third question and the very important question that we should not let down is what is your interest. So during my bachelor's itself, I found my interest in subjects like analog electronics and digital electronics. So I knew that if had I gotten an opportunity to pursue a career in this area, I wouldn't let myself down. I would do something. I would do good at least. If not best, I would do something good or maybe better in this. But the problem is a lot of institutes do not allow electrical graduates to go into this VLSI area. And there are just handful of institutes like IIT Delhi who has their own way of getting students into this. But I want to tell you that companies don't differentiate at their level. When they will come and they will see that you have the skills, they will take you irrespective of what department do you come from. And this is actually a process. Maybe if any of your question in the further session has it, I'll put up a little light on it. How you can get into VLSI even when if you do not have that background. How to get into that there because I've done
Yeah,
that.
please go
So
ahead.
yeah. So I have done that in the sense like I have put people from a different background getting placed into VLSI companies, and that too on day one, and that too on day one, how to do it. So when I started applications, I mentioned that, I got offers from different institute, but putting up my priority and interest and hard work, which will cost me getting into IIT Delhi, I took all these things at my stake that I will do that, and this is how I got into VLSI, because I had my interest. At the same time, I met an opportunity actually. So when you have, when you know that along with your interest, you are getting something which could lead to a better future, a better placement of avenues in future. Why not to take it? Why not to take it? I definitely I took a decision and went into that area. But a lot of people would say that it would be difficult to manage. But I would say that today we have a lot of resources on internet. Today we have a lot of resources available with different your seniors and maybe libraries at different institutes. So it is not so difficult. Today it can be manageable. It's not so difficult to do it. At the same time, as I mentioned, that when companies come for placement, so they will look at the skills. If you have those skills, you will be given an opportunity to sit an interview. And if you do fairly well in interview, they won't hesitate to take you. It all depends upon are you catering to the needs of what the corporate is demanding from you. So all these things I kept in mind. It cumulatively added, along with my journey, and this is how it all started. I was always because I think electrical engineers can do well in electronics area also, because you have common, even though you get to study EDC at your bachelor's, you get to study analog and digital also. Maybe not, maybe some some sophisticated topics may not be included in syllabus, but those are manageable. During your journey you can do it if you put up a time and proper resources into it. Those are absolutely manageable. So definitely, I would assure that even if you have any questions, any such questions in your mind as a student, you can get it anytime clarified. And it is not that tough that you can, as an electrical engineer, also you can get into this area and not do good, because I did it. I did it like. I was really good at all these things, in particular to what time I got. So that's absolutely manageable.
Yeah, thank you so much for that answer. Especially, it's never better to hear such an answer related to placements from a placement
Yeah.
coordinator.
Uh,
Yeah, thank you, Ankesh. So,
yeah, yeah, Neeraj.
you were founder of this Aplomb public speaking forum. So, could you please talk about that?
Okay, so we were actually a group of four people. After my B.Tech, we started working with. I started working with a company that specifically dealt with, the application process of people that go to abroad to their study. I worked at that company. I understood the process, how they do it actually, and we were a group of three, four people. We just made a decision that we would do something of our own now. We learned a lot of things over here, and now let's do something of our own. So, so four of us people, some of us started, yeah, like a group of people who started working on maybe digital marketing area, and some of us started working on the area that, and as an applicant to go to abroad to study, would have to go through the rigorous process of maybe speaking, writing, and listening. So a lot of exercises are there. You need to train people in this area. At the same time, the people who are inclined towards maybe yeah, as in during my batch during my school days itself, I have been an active participant when it comes to speaking events like debating, elocution, extempore. I represented my schools, my grad colleges, even at IIT Delhi, I was a part of DevSoc debating society. So it all took it all took it in me that I had an interest. I had an interest when it comes to speaking and communication events and communication exercises that does. So we used all these skills and founded our institute. There were, I think, like maybe 100, 120 participants in 2.5 years, which came at a training school and took services from us. So I worked there over there. I worked maybe around 2 years. Around 2 years I worked, and then I started working for, parallelly I started preparation for my gate. So this was all about the Aplomb TC. By the way, it is still running, and my friends who were the part at that time. I now I don't have much stakes available over there, uh, but indirectly I'm still involved with it. On Google, all the reviews are available on Google. Students still take reference and go to Apple TC for their application now.
Yeah, I guess with this experience, you've also learned what it takes to start a startup kind of thing.
Yeah. During after specifically my B.Tech, I think when you are young, you are full of energy, and you go on thinking of doing something different. So after working in, we were when we worked at that company, we thought that we could do it in a much different way, in a better way, what that company is doing. So it went like that.
Got it, Ankesh. So coming back to placements now, so especially this question is related to resume, and most of the students they face issues during resume screening. If they are not from a tier one institute, they face this a lot when they apply to core jobs. So, what tips would you give those students who are applying for core jobs
Yeah.
regarding resume writing? Yeah.
So recently I was invited as a speaker at the play, at a workshop which was conducted by Office of Career Services of IIT Delhi, to speak upon how students who are opting for core industry, to be VLSI in particular, what should be the key points they should keep in mind, specifically when it comes to resume and how it could be highlighted. So I spoke specifically a lot about it in that video also. And the video and the recording of that video is available on YouTube as well. To be giving some tips over here, I would say that, see, when you go to core area at IIT, what used to happen, they have an automated portal. Where you just have to go and fill in the entries. There are different sections, like there are different sections. You just have to put your data into it. So when from you go from a different institute and you specifically opt for a core related profile as your career option, I would specifically to keep ask you to keep this point in your concerns, that you should have a very great zeal of idea on your projects, on your course projects which you do. So whatever course project you are doing, have really a great idea of all the all the maybe simulation work, all the synthesis work, or maybe the coding work which you have done, and you arrange all those projects and have a good idea of front and back of what it went at what how it went. So a lot of weightage is there on upon the projects which you write during your interview. They may start asking you about a particular module or a particular section of a particular project which you mentioned in your resume. So the second thing which should be kept in mind is your CG. So a company, when they prepare shortlist, when the company prepare, there is a process. They will firstly ask for applications. So once all the application go to when all the applications will go to the company, they will make a shortlist, and the shortlist is made on the basis of the written test. On the written test they take, and secondly on the basis of resume which you give them. So what do they look specifically is, first your CG. They put a CG criteria. Make sure you have a good CG, at least 8.5 plus, and second maybe 8 if not 8.5. Then the projects which you have done. Thirdly, about the technical skills and the subjects which you have done during your masters or your course. So make sure getting yourself near to the shortlist of the companies. So once
Yeah.
you get shortlisted on the interview day, you have to make sure that you prepare your projects well, you prepare your subjects well, you have your CG done
Yeah.
as your again, as I mentioned, you have CG because you're shortlisted now.
Yeah.
So they would ask you question only related to, there is a specific set of question. You go
Okay.
for a digital VLSI roles, there is a specific set of question. You go for
Okay.
analog VLSI roles, they will have their own set of questions as well, but
Yeah.
maybe not that specific. But you would find that there is an area, maybe 80 to 90% of area, there is one specific area where definitely questions will be put in front of you from that.
Yeah.
And once you start preparing, you will automatically realize, when you go to such channels like maybe VLSI for all, and
Yeah.
start watching about the videos of all the seniors which they
Yeah.
have done, you will get to know that this is the stuff which you have to do. This
Yeah.
is not much. This is actually not too different from what other peoples are doing. So you prepare all this stuff, and once all this set of things are prepared, then you will get through it.
Yeah.
That's not too of a big humongous thing to do. So these are all the steps which I think should be kept in mind while making your resume. Okay, there is one section of your major project as well. So make sure you write your,
Yeah.
major project, and you in a short abstract of it,
Okay.
which actually defines your work, what you have
Yeah.
done in it.
Got it, Ankush. In fact, that was very comprehensive answer. That should definitely help the students who are watching this session.
Yeah.
So, since you said that you faced, few issues in the initial phases of your M.Tech, since you are
Yeah,
from
yeah.
triple E background. So, how should a student go about it? How should
So,
student focus on subjects that they are dealing with,
so quickly, I
especially
would
in the
like to
initial
answer this
phases?
question is
Yeah.
like, specifically, I was from double E background, and you are specifically into when you go to area like microelectronics, which deal a lot of things with CMOS, and you until that you don't have any idea regarding what CMOS is. So you will have to go through a lot of stress in your initial days, but every drop of sweat which you put will definitely count at the end. So there are a lot of resources. Specifically, what I did was, for every subject, I think most of the time I referred to NPTEL videos. I watched all the lectures of Shauri sir, from analog electronics, from CMOS, RFIC. I did a lot of courses on NPTEL of IIT Madras, which analog IC design and mixed signals. We have AMS, a signal called analog and mixed signal design. If you want to go to analog area, it is a must-do subject. So I did a subject, I did NPTEL training of Verilog also from NPTEL. Also at the same time, I myself joined a lot of courses. I specifically did a lot of training and project courses on Verilog, HDL, and CMOS VLSI. So I that's what I mentioned today. In this era, it has a lot of resources on internet. You just have to explore through it. And yeah, I what the problem which I was facing in RF things that related to my core subjects, that was solved with my PhD seniors, my colleagues at IIT, discussing with them, and you will go through it. So that's not a major thing. At the same time, I would suggest ki if you are going into microelectronics, make sure that you have a good command in starting at EDC, and at the same time you can go through a lecture series of Nath sir. He's a professor at ISC, in the Department of Nanoelectronics. So I watched his lecture series, and that actually gave me a lot of perspective of how I should begin with my specialization microelectronics at care. So use Google well. You be a very good Googler, and yeah, I just exploit all the resources which you have on internet, and you are all set.
Great. And that should help the students who are concerned with that.
Yeah.
We're
So there are
almost
a
at,
lot of
yeah.
channels. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there are a lot of channels. If students want to have reference for maybe one NPTEL, you can have one. If you are specifically from VLSI, and you want to go into maybe digital VLSI and analog. If you want to go into verification and design side, you should have VLSI, verification academy, verification guide. And then you have, for coding thing, you have GitHubs, and also all these platforms I think student might be knowing as well. And at the same time, you refer to such initiatives like VLSI for all, and maybe whatever the net, on internet, the experiences, your seniors experience. Because during my days I used to go through a lot of such videos. And for maybe for network, there is a portion of RC circuits when you go for analog. So you have champion sir's video available on YouTube as well. So you accumulate all this information, and then just set going, and timely keep goals that within this time I should be accomplishing this, and within this time I should be accomplishing this. So when 1st December comes, like, see, today is 26th, after 4 days the placement session will begin at IIT Delhi's. So I can interact with when I interact with my juniors, I'll really, like, this is a period of a lot of stress, at different IITs, because it's a placement time. So this all saves you, doing accomplishing timely things. They all save you for last minute hustle. So just you can go through all these resources.
Yeah. Thank you for mentioning all those resources, Ankesh. We're almost at the end of the session now. A couple of questions before we call it a day. So till now, we have talked about, we have asked you about your career and your experiences. Now, please tell us about us, VLSI for All. So, what do you think about VLSI for All
So
and its initiative?
So yeah. So yeah, Neeraj. So as I, as I started my address with a congratulatory note for you, that it is really a wonderful initiative. Like, say, what I personally felt is, it is very important for student community that they should have access to information. They should have access to resources. And what VLSI for all, maybe the initiative which you have taken is doing is you're making those resources available to them. And this all the, this interview experience, this is actually one of the exercise which we wanted to imbibe in our placement series of workshops, that you go with your seniors and ask to them how their experience was. Indirectly you're doing the same thing, right? You're taking a lot of seniors, you're asking them, and you're giving a feedback to this community. So it was my own interest, to at least when you have something, you come forward, you give your contribution to the society, and you make sure that once you go to a particular level, you also do the same thing. Because this is how we grow. This is how we grow as a community. This is how we grow as in people. You should be doing this when your turn comes. So it is really a great initiative, and I would like to congratulate once again you, VLSI for all, the entire community, for taking such a great initiative. You're really doing great, guys, and keep doing and keep continuing this good work. Best wishes from my side to you.
Thank you, Ankesh. That was so sweet of you, and uh, we are very well obliged to do this, especially for students who want to get into
Yeah.
VLSI, especially. Thank you,
Hmm.
Ankesh. Ankesh, thank you once again. And in fact, this session was very comprehensive in terms of career in VLSI, and also all the experiences that a student can have during his initial days, or during his whole master's journey, and also all the placement tips as well as an overall coordinator that you have given us. It should be very helpful for the students who are watching this session. And finally, if you would go back during to those days when you were just starting out, just after your B.Tech and to pursue your masters. So, what things do you suggest that Ankesh, who was just starting out after completing his B.Tech, what things could have changed
Hmm.
from there on? Were there any situations
Okay,
like you
so from
faced?
like maybe like today and at that time, what is the difference that I feel?
Yeah, exactly.
So, oh wow, that's really a good question. So, like, Neeraj, so there are a lot of differences which I feel. And once so what students happen is when, specifically when they are in their preparation mode, that is a tough time. I can understand. You have to, like, maybe during I did my preparation a lot of maybe on online stuff. But there are students who go to classes and think they dedicate hours and hours to preparation, and specifically when they give one or two attempts, and if they do not find, to be getting a proper result of it, they get demotivated. And I can understand that is a tough situation as a student to go through. But there is always light at the end of the tunnel. And there will a time will come, then you will really start, seeing the results of all the turmoil which you have done over a course of period. So it is all actually a question of, patience, as well as not giving up. Be you just keep going throughout. So at that time things were really difficult. You be in your preparation mode, you don't see anything, specifically when your friends are doing really good. Yeah, and they I started off, like, I started off when one of my friend actually got placed. So that keeps you, a thing at, about the time span. Are you like starting right, or maybe you're finishing right at the time? But guys, times will change. You just have to keep on going. Maybe who knows that, days ahead gonna come even better than what you have today. So but I think that the present wisdom which I have had it been during those days, I could have done, I could have done something, maybe a lot of stuff that could help me during my masters and company work, which I could do even better. But these are things, man, as a person will never satisfy, yourself. You will always think that there was always better way around. So take proper time for your studies, take proper time for enjoyment, enjoy your life, and keep thriving. That's what I suggest.
That was a great session, Ankesh, and it was,
Okay.
in fact, it was inspirational as well. Apart from being
Okay.
comprehensive about guidance related to VLSI career. Thank you for
Mhm.
all your kind words. Thank you for all your guidance that you have provided us with this session, Ankesh. We wish to
Thank you so
conduct
much,
more
Neeraj.
such
Thank you so
sessions
much.
with you, especially about placements as well, since you are overall coordinator.
Sure, sure, definitely, definitely. I would love to give my, whatever the thing as an experience I have, and yes, there is a lot of scope to be needed to be talked upon this. So, yes, definitely, I would love to
Yeah.
speak whenever you uh, need to have. The student community is getting really, out advantage out of this, then we should keep the good work going.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Ankesh, for joining us today. And thank you all for
Thank you,
watching this
Neeraj. Thank you so
session.
much.
Yep. And thank you all for joining this session today, uh, where we talked about all about VLSI career and how should a student go about pursuing his masters and then think about placements as well. So we'll be back with such sessions. Just stay tuned. Thank you all. Bye.
Thank you, Neeraj. Thank you, VLSI Academy, for having me. Great time, guys. Have a good day. Bye bye.
Yeah.